Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you, many kings and prophets have desired to see what you see, and have not seen it. To hear what you hear, and have not heard it. I thank you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the wise, and revealing them to the innocent and the simple.
Hainan City in southern Taiwan has recorded its worst dengue fever outbreak. More than 2,000 cases has been reported this summer. 4 people have died so far. Dengue fever is transmitted by mosquitoes, and residents have been urged to clear wastewater in or near their homes, rooftops, and construction sites.
Tropical storm Erica is wreaking havoc across the Caribbean. The violent storm washed out roads and destroyed homes on the island of Dominica. Now the storm is threatening Florida, with a majority of the state's nearly 20 million residents in its projected path.
We've got concerns all across the state now because it's going to be coming clear across the state.
The storm is expected to make landfall as early as Monday morning. Florida's governor is taking every precaution, declaring a state of emergency and calling up the National Guard.
The biggest concern now is, one, we don't know how much land it's going to go over. We don't know how much water we're going to get.
Tonight, Florida residents are preparing for the storm, stocking up on supplies, taking no chances.
Seas are rising, increasing an average of 8 centimeters since 1992 and putting the world on a trajectory for a rise of a couple of meters down the road. But you won't see the same increase everywhere.
When you fill up a sink, the water actually rises at the same rate throughout the sink. But water moves differently on the Earth. It's reacting to tides, winds, currents, and shifts in tectonic plates.
This newly released NASA animation shows 23 years of sea levels. See those blue spots on the U.S. West Coast? They indicate that seas are lower and cooler. Now look at China's coast. Those red spots indicate warmer, rising seas. And in China's Yellow River Delta, where land is also sinking, NASA scientists say sea levels here are rising more than 25 centimeters a year. In all, more than 50 million Chinese would be exposed to flooding by the end of the century, according to a Climate Central analysis. That's because scientists say a warming planet is melting ice sheets in Antarctica and Greenland, and melting mountain glaciers too. The rest, say NASA scientists, is due to the impact of that warmth on the water itself, causing it to expand. Which brings us back to this animation. NASA scientists say the satellites that help them track past patterns of sea level change will also help forecast future patterns. Right now, they predict that over the next 10 years, as sea levels rise overall, the U.S. West Coast will now see a greater impact than China's East Coast.
Erica hit Puerto Rico Friday, then struck the Dominican Republic with powerful winds. The storm caused massive flooding and mudslides on the island of Dominica. At least 20 people were killed. The prime minister says damage from the storm has set the island back 20 years.
Erica has weakened somewhat. Its track is uncertain. Let's get the latest from David Begnaud in Miami. Good morning, David.
Anthony, good morning. It is a beautiful morning to be walking the beach here in South Florida, but make no mistake about it, there is a storm on the way. Forecasters say the guarantee is for rain. The real question is, how strong will the winds be?
Lift that in.
Employees here in Surfside are taking all the necessary precautions, clearing the pool decks and the beaches.
Everything's cleared on this, so we set with the parks.
Tim Millian is Surfside's Director of Parks and Recreation.
So I've been watching Erica since Tuesday, along with the town. We started to prepare at that time for a possible tropical storm or hurricane with our hurricane procedures, and we are prepared at this time for any type of weather that comes through.
Residents are following suit. At the local supermarket Friday, shoppers stocked up on bottled water and canned goods. Over at the Home Depot, Gerson Parma was buying sheets of plywood to board up windows.
Just, trying to be safe. Me and my family, I got a wife, 2 kids, so can never be too careful.
In Pembroke Pines, drivers waited in line to fill up for gas. In West Miami-Dade, some municipalities and businesses were offering residents complimentary sandbags. Erica continues its slow push northwest, having hammered the Dominican Republic and Haiti with heavy rain and 50-mile-an-hour winds. On the small island of Dominica, 15 inches of rain triggered flooding and mudslides. Authorities there say at least 20 people have died as a result of Erica. Back in Florida, Governor Rick Scott has told residents they should continue to monitor the storm's path into the weekend and take what could be a real threat as seriously as any other.
On Saturday, Libyan authorities said rescue workers had recovered 12 more bodies off the Libyan coast, raising the death toll from the latest migrant disaster in the Mediterranean to 117. About 100 people have been rescued so far, with at least 100 more believed to be missing.
About 100 or 200 people drowned from our boat. Lots of children died, and some survived. My advice would be not to be convinced by anyone to set out on the sea to reach Europe.
Most of the people rescued came from Syria and sub-Saharan African countries.
From a distance, it looks like a car stuck in deep flooding water.
It just looked like a flood out there.
But to people like Adam Perry, who live near the Iris and Folsom intersection, as well as drivers, looks here could be deceiving.
Front of her car fell into the sinkhole.
Yep, you heard it right. A sinkhole that the city says opened up due to a water main break, causing this rare sight.
Doesn't usually happen as vehicles are driving through, so that is unique.
But today it did for one woman who was heading westbound on Iris through 4 inches of water when all of a sudden her car got stuck. Seconds after she got out, her car fell in. This is what the hole looks like after crews removed the water. The city says it's about 4 foot deep and as wide as a car lane. Tonight, the city says this sends a clear reminder to drivers.
When you see water, stop and turn around. Don't drive through it. It's a sunny day today. It's a water main break. You don't know what's happening under the road as that water is coming up.
In the northwest, a powerful winter-like storm is being blamed for at least 2 deaths and plenty of damage. Hurricane-force winds brought down trees and power lines in Washington state, causing widespread power outages. Here's Maria Villarreal.
Powerful wind gusts, some nearing 90 miles per hour, came without warning.
We didn't hear it, it just fell fast.
Luis and Rosa Rivero say they watched in horror as a tree branch snapped off at a birthday party south of Seattle, killing a 10-year-old girl.
They were all just here playing, and she's gone. It's sad. A little girl's life is gone.
In Woodinville, north of Seattle,
you got 911?
A very close call for a family caught inside this car during the storm. All made it out safely. Falling tree limbs also injured 4 people at a triathlon on an army base south of Tacoma. At the peak of the storm, nearly 500,000 were without power, all from winds that took many residents here by surprise.
It was just bright and it just all of a sudden, boom.
This was the scene on a bridge spanning the usually tranquil Lake Washington. Forecasters say they expected rain, just nothing this severe.
Are you serious? Are you serious, folks? When the wells run dry and the California drought that's now 4 years old, it's a longer drought than the days of Elijah, that when the drought, no rain, hit Israel for 3.5 years. Are you serious? California is experiencing a drought of biblical proportions, and it's not getting better, but it's getting worse. Matter of fact, the California drought is forcing some families to live now in third world type conditions, and millions of Californians are being inconvenienced in this 4th year of the drought, urged to flush their toilets less often, take shorter showers, and let lawns turn brown. But it's dramatically worse in other places, especially in Okieville, where wells have gone dry for many of the 100 modest homes that share crackled streets without sidewalks or street lights in California's Central Valley. It's a serious condition, and it's not getting better, folks. It is getting worse, but you can see that the drought of California is affecting not only the state of California, and not only is this drought in California, but it is in the entire West Coast area. I mean, Washington State is on fire. Flames are roaring, and it's getting desperate out there, as well as in 7 states, Oregon, of course, Idaho, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, California, Washington State, parts of Canada, and it's just getting horrendous out there what's taking place as this drought continues. Continue to pray one for another. We're living in something biblical. Something biblical's going on with the signs.